Now here we go. Maverick is holding off Christopher Bell. Bell finally gets around the top. He slips up off of 4. Elkins is still there, still running his line, being a clean Texas driver because us Texas people don't screw you Oklahomans over. And watch this shit. What the hell was that? Like, hold on. What was that, ladies and gentlemen? And now everyone and their mama and their daddy and their sister is calling this force below. I watched so many people watching over the last 3 days this amazing race, this Tulsa shootout where the regular guy, the Maverick Elkins, can take his little $30,000 operation and finally bust the rich kid's ass. Finally have a shot. He can't do it at the Chili Bowl. He ain't got 15 grand like a Brian Carver on fucking GoFundMe to go rent out a Keith Coons ride to have a chance at beating Christopher Bell. Chris Bell can outspend his ass and whoop his ass at the Chili Bowl. But this little Maverick Elkins, he's got 30 fucking grand in his car, and he can bring the big rich kid down to his level and whoop his ass. He's got a shot, just like all these sumbitches do. Chris Bell can't put $100,000 in his micro and outspend the regular Maverick Elkins here. And Maverick Elkins is putting it on his ass right now. And Chris Bell's in there losing his fucking mind. Everyone in Oklahoma, we can't have this little poor kid Texan kick his ass. And he's forced below the fucking line. And who else? Does anybody else have eyes here? Where is forced below the line? Now everybody that's out there like, well, he was underneath them and he didn't give him any room. That's been happening all fucking week. And you know what people do? They get out of the damn gas. They lift. They lift. I know it's hard to believe because we had, I think, 31 flips today. But regular drivers, when there's a guy holding his line, he drives his line in there, he don't just say, this is basically, he don't just say, I own this bitch, I'm going to go wherever I want. I thought that this was the River Spirit Expo Center, Tulsa Raceway, or whatever they want to call it, this track here. But how he just treated it, how that happened, oh, he's not going to give me any room on this track. Well, this is my house, bitch. Bam. I'll go wherever the fuck I want on my racetrack, and ain't nobody going to do anything about it, and obviously nobody did. This is unfucking real. I am so upset that nothing happened to this situation. I mean, look at this. The Maverick Elkins did nothing wrong, but this is wrong. When a guy's not giving you room, you lift. You don't just take over the fucking facility because you're some big fucking NASCAR driver. But, once again, this isn't Christopher Bell's problem. This is not Christopher Bell's fault. Whoever's making the calls, it's their fault. And they're not going to change their ways because obviously people are saying, well, this is Oklahoma. This is how it goes. These people ain't going to change their ways, obviously, until people start talking about it and pointing it out and making it an ordeal and making it a situation because, hey, man, this is some blind-ass shit. Hold on, let's hear their reaction. Let's hear their reaction.
Jewish and John Campbell rounding out your field.
Your top 4 finish exactly how they start.
Potentially.
Brown, McIntosh, Bell, and Elkins.
Let's hear what their announcers say.
We saw, was it Ben Worth in a wingless? I can't remember who it was, but they went 4 down all the way into the apron to make a pass, and they were knocked back a couple of spots there.
That wasn't even, I'm on and I'm back off in the middle of the corner. Christopher drove the whole corner on the inside of the racetrack right there, so that'll be really interesting to see. I mean, in my mind, he shortcutted the racetrack, which would result in a penalty. But
wow. Clinton Boyles, smartest man alive, apparently. Now, I don't know how anyone is watching what we just saw and saying, force below the yellow line, and that he had to avoid a wreck. No. That was, I'm getting outran by somebody who don't have as much money as me, and I'm a big name, so I'm going to do what I want. And they're going to let it go because I'm the name here. No one will watch if I'm not here. At least that's how people treat some of these guys. That's why you see some of the names, I think, sometimes get special treatment because they think they bring some eyes and attention. Could have had a hell of a headline tomorrow. NASCAR driver Christopher Bell penalized for illegally going into the fucking infield to pass cars because he couldn't outdrive them. That's a hell of a headline. I would have loved to run with that one because that's what just happened. So, I don't know what's going on, but that's just ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. And I like everyone putting the show on. I know the guys who are putting in all the work, they're doing a great job, but this call was blown. And it shouldn't be just swept under the rug. It should be talked about and hopefully get this stuff to a point to where it doesn't happen to someone else, because Maverick Elkins just got screwed. And if you're going to approve that style of move and say, and this is just from, the top running the show down, if you're going to stamp what he just did with an approval and tell all these little kids that are watching this, that are there, until all these other competitors that are there, this is okay? Okay then. So tomorrow, when a guy has maybe a nose under someone else, and they come down on him, and he drives through the fucking infield and passes 5 cars, or 1, like we saw there, they're thinking that's fine, that's okay. And are the people running the show, if they DQ that guy, which I'm sure they would, if that same situation happened again, which apparently somebody did something not even as extreme and got penalized earlier in the day. I think they were saying Ben Worth or somebody like that. Are you going to go up to some 7-year-old little kid who said, I watched Christopher Bell do it, and say, we're having to dock you 2 spots because you're not Christopher Bell? In this authoritarian position that these people are in, you're supposed to at least try to treat everybody fair and equal. The best competitors can win. Now, the little situation flood, little dirty, little this, little that, that's all on the racetrack. It's between the lines, the infield berm and the outside wall. That's where that shit occurred. This did not. And I was really battling on even talking about this over the last 30 minutes. Somebody said, you need to go back and look at the replay. Go back and look at the replay. I wanted to watch the race throughout its entirety. Then I went back and looked at it. And when I went back and looked at it, I could not talk about this. This is a spit in the face to competitive sports. That is what it is. We're in this racing world where nobody's getting opportunity. Hard-working 25 and 30-year-olds that didn't have millions of dollars to go to a truck at 16 or 17 or hundreds of thousands of dollars at 14 for a sprint car operation. These 25, 30-year-olds are finally getting, $30,000 for a fucking micro they can just throw out the window. It's not a lot of money, right? 30 grand's easy to come by. Expendable income. Finally able to do that. Get out here. Gonna have an opportunity to show the world I can bust Chris Bell's ass with this $30,000 micro. I don't have $100,000 for, the midget or the sprint car. I got 30 grand for this micro, though, and I can bust his ass. And he's busting him, and that shit happens. And everybody says, I guess everybody's like, well, Chris would have passed him anyway. No, that's not the case. It wasn't the case. And for that to be let go is just so disgusting. It needs to be talked about. And I don't even really know where to place blame. I mean, ultimately, the people making the decisions to black flag people or not are kind of the ones who are to blame. But maybe they look at it right now and say, yeah, that was a mistake. Maybe they're going to change results. I heard that all these results being posted aren't official, and that the ones Brian Holbert will post tonight are official. Maybe they're hearing this. They might change it real quick. I don't think so. Hopefully they do. But there was no question in what we just saw. There was no doubt in what we just saw. I can show you races in that entire video where guys are in that same situation. There's a guy in front of them running and holding his line, and they're underneath them, and they lift and try to find a way to pass the guy legally, fairly, decently.